Hey, what's going on, guys? Richie Figs here, back with another video. Immediately, I'm going to apologize for the audio. I know it's not that great. It's kind of a weird particular situation. It's going to be a one-off thing, so I promise it won't be like this moving forward. So we're just going to have to tough this one out. And it's unfortunate that it has to be with one of the figures that I was most anticipating of the year, but it is what it is. So let's waste no more time. Let's just get right into it. Boom! There he is, Dhalsim, and as you can see, I wasted no time getting him out of the package. I didn't really care to show him in the package because, one, it's the same package. The only thing that's going to be different this time around is obviously you get to see Dhalsim there on the front of the box, and then there is just a shot of his pre-order image on the back along with the roster that is on its way to being completed with Jada. Also does get a cool cutout of one of his scenes from the game, which is very cool. You can use that for some toy photography if you'd like. We knocked down our boy Dhalsim, but immediately, look at that pose that we get him in. Just immediately. Like, I'm not going to lie, and I hate to be a spoiler alert, but this is already, I think, my favorite figure of the line, as I expected it to be, just for what it does. Look at what it's already doing. Look at what it's already doing, and we haven't even begun to go over everything. So let's take a look. I hate to get him out of the pose, but it is what it is. Let's talk about how we got this guy. Was able to find him at Target, and guys, it's going to be tough, because worst fears have come true for anybody that is trying to find this guy right now at Target. I am only seeing the case show up with 2 M. Bison and 1 Dhalsim. So what does that mean? You have to be there basically when the case gets cracked, because they're receiving one of these guys at a time at the moment. So eventually they will get that case that has 2 of them in there and then 1 M. Bison, but still 3 to a store is pretty rough. And then obviously they're going to send more throughout the year and everything like that. But trying to get this guy months ahead before they satisfy the online orders is usually the goal. So, yeah, it sucks. And if you haven't watched that video on how to get this guy, make sure you go watch that video. It's got the DPCI, the UPC. You're basically going to have to call Target, kind of see when their next shipment of Jada is coming in, and then from there, just show up when it does, because, yeah, this guy is going to be tough and well-deserved, though. Look at how clean. That head sculpt right there is just phenomenal. And then we do get this nice soft rubber, his skull necklace. You get these movable earrings here on the side that are very nice. He's got these little rings on his forearm, wrist area, and then the figure alone is just, it's different. It's just a different mold, something we haven't seen before. Like the M. Bison, where he was big and thick, this guy is limber and skinny. So immediately, I'm probably gonna want like 3 of this guy, because there's just so many options that come. Options is definitely the thing that come to mind of word choice when I'm dealing with this guy. But let's take a look. So articulation, you've got your double jointed elbows, pinless, of course. You got a nice bicep swivel. You got the kind of like a flat hand here that goes up and down, and then you do get a little bit of a claw hand. Now, one of the hands here was having a little bit of an issue. This peg's not moving. I'm gonna have to heat it up, so just forewarn, if it's not, I wouldn't force it, because it will snap on you, and then you gotta call Jada. And they're great with customer service, but you'd rather not call Jada if you don't have to. So if something seems a little too stiff, don't try and force it. Try and heat it up with warm water or a blow dryer. And you shouldn't have to, but yeah, just, you don't want to break this guy, and I definitely don't want to break this guy. And then as far as the rest of the articulation, you can see immediately what we're doing here. We're doing splits. We're doing double jointed knees. The knees scare me just a little bit too. I don't want to break this guy. Like, look, it goes up that far. And then some cool articulation on the leg. We've got a thigh swivel that's hidden right here, right at the shorts, which is cool. You've got kind of like a I guess a shin swivel, and then an ankle rocker that goes that way, and then his foot goes down that far, goes up that high, and then obviously, but man, this guy immediately, just some cool stuff that you can like poses that you can get him in immediately, like, is so cool. Just kind of like look at that, like, just cool little poses. Like, he's got so many cool different poses that he can do. Just like, I don't know, like, you're gonna have a lot of fun with this figure. I think that's the funnest part of this figure, is that there's just so many different options. And then he does have the different head sculpt. Careful, you want to hold this necklace down with your fingers when pulling this off, because that thing's gonna go flying if you don't, and then it belongs to the carpet monsters of the world. Let me take this off so I can snap it on. There we go. You heard the snap. I know you heard it. This separate head sculpt is not my favorite. I don't know why. And I don't know if it's just, I don't know. There's some about it that I just can't put my finger on that doesn't make me absolutely love it. It's not bad by any means. Like, I take, the fact that we're getting additional head sculpts at all is phenomenal, especially for the price point. But I don't know, there's just something about it that I can't put my finger on, that just I can't fall in love with. A lot of people were looking for that flame blowing head sculpt, and we'll talk about that here in a second, because that is an accessory that is missing. But enough about, oh, let me show you a couple more things. So he does bend forward that much, which is awesome. Like, you can get him really low. Like, look how far he goes. And then he does go back that far, and then he's got some tilt to the left, tilt to the right. Head goes up that far, head goes down that far, and then you do get some head tilt with him as well. So let me show you the new accessories that we get with this guy. No plastic clear piece like all the other ones. This one's got some new ones. Let's take a look. All right, and here he is with his accessories. I did leave one arm on so I can kind of show you what's going on here, but no one has shown this. Like, no one has shown him just standing with his super limbs on. Like, look, he turns into like a 9-inch figure when you get this stuff on, and no one has shown him in the video like how tall he actually gets. Like, it is actually super cool, and he gets still all the articulation. He can do the full-on splits, can do super kicks, and like, it just, these things are, and I feel like no one really shows off the bend, but I think people are a little bit weary, just because with old Stretch Armstrong, when you bent it too much, eventually the paint chips, it wears out, it starts to get clear. So I don't know, maybe that's why people aren't like super in love with this, just because also these are not interchangeable, so do not try and pull these off. These are stuck to the long limb joints, but interesting how you put them on. They come off fairly easy, not easy enough that it's an issue or anything, but it's like a little rubber piece in there that you just kind of shimmy on there, and then it goes on. But the nice thing about all the other limbs is they do go on rather easily, and they do snap in, so you get like a good click there that you can feel that it goes securely in. But the fact that yeah, like, this figure is crazy, bro, and I feel upset, because I feel like the more I move him around, it feels like he's getting a little bit loose at the waist, a little bit, but nothing crazy, nothing crazy. But yeah, I don't know. Is that becoming an issue? Maybe. So that's the one thing I worry about this figure, is I pull the legs off screen just for a second, just so I can get everything in. But I'll show you how these legs go in. They really just kind of, you heard that snap, and then see there at the bottom, just no particular way, they do kind of snap. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be an issue at all. But a couple things, you want to hold on to the accessories when you're changing them, because those rings on the wrist, oh my god, they go flying. Like, if you're not holding on to those things when when you change those, like, I'll show you just as like an example. You want to hold it back there and just kind of shimmy it off. like that, because if you just pull it off without holding the ring, that thing goes flying and it is game over. I'm lucky that I found it, because that thing shot off like a goddamn cannon. But yeah, so yeah, a lot of people were not super, it almost seemed like people weren't like super excited about the limbs, which I guess I can understand, because you're not going to use them a ton, I would think. But other than like poses and stuff like that, I just worry about their durability is really the only concern I have here. And then also, I feel like he's starting to get a little bit loose, like right here. But I have messed around with him like a lot. But Jada's not known for getting loose, but it's definitely not like an issue or anything. But I do notice that right around the joint there at the bottom, it's getting a little bit loose. But I have been moving him around quite a bit, so I don't know. It is day one though, so you hate to see that. But yeah, this guy does get in like some crazy poses. So see if we can get him back in that one pose that I had him in real quick. Bring him down, and then just something like that. But yeah, again, like with that waist, not an issue at all, like I said. But yeah, something like that. And he will stand too. That's the crazy thing, is this figure does like have crazy articulation. Oh, we can, I know we can get it. Hold up, let's see if we can get it real quick. Just got to be super patient with these guys. Let's see, one more time. There we go, got it. So again, the the articulation is definitely there. But like I said, I'm gonna want a couple of these anyways, I think, just so I can display one with long legs. And then if this one ends up getting too loose, then I can just kind of have one to mess around with, and then one that stands a little bit leaner and meaner. But as far as a size comparison, he is only 5'9". For some reason, I thought he was like 6'11" or something. Maybe he is in the later games, but he is only 5'9". So Dhalsim and Bison does stand taller than him, but it ain't by much. So on the side-by-side, he is taller, but not by much. So, guys, this is my new favorite figure from the Jada line, and Bison really is up there too. I think he's top 3, if not number 2. But yeah, definitely my favorite figure from the Jada line so far. I would highly recommend it. And if you have any questions or needing help trying to find one at Target, go watch my past video that I did on that. So, sorry these videos are a little bit longer. I try to go over everything and any questions that might come up. But June did hint, because I think someone did ask a while back in one of the interviews about him getting the legs and not the fire blowing effect in the head sculpt, and it sounds like that might be a Player 2 Deluxe. So I think he's blue in the Player 2. I don't know that off the top of my head, but I think he is blue, which will be really cool. So, and that'd be cool if I would assume that he'd probably get like a Chun-Li type of situation, where he'd probably get like an alternate head for this figure. So if you want, so there'd be like a blue fire blowing head sculpt, and then like a regular one. So if you wanted to improve on this one, then you definitely could. But that's just what that's what he said. He said, could there be a Player 2? That he just kind of, I think he hinted at it severely hard when someone asked about it. So he's like, maybe for Player 2. And he kind of smiled when he said that. So maybe San Diego Comic-Con? I don't know. But other than that, guys, sorry again about the audio, but hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. Richie Figs. Later.